I'm in Medellin right now.
Medellin?
Yes. This is like the tourist area of Colombia.
Right. It seems, by the way, as an aside, that more and more Jamaicans, I see narrative several Jamaicans who in fact now made Colombia. It seems like Colombia is turning out to be quite a popular tourist resort these days, isn't it?
Yeah, man, most definitely. It's beautiful where I'm at right now. The view is good. The food is good. The people are really nice. And I want to tell you that even when I ran out, I saw basically half of my flight basically staying here. There were so many Jamaicans actually at my location. You understand what I'm saying? So most of us basically just group up one place. Jamaican, we always have to find our people, and you know what I mean? So we're just downstairs talking about what happened, how we really left Jamaica to come and encounter this. But disasters happen anywhere.
To the best of your knowledge, is the Jamaicans that you're aware of, are they all safe?
Yes, most definitely, because the area that it took place, it's not necessarily a tourist area. I spoke to my driver yesterday. He was telling me it was actually like about 9 hours away from here. You know what I mean? Not necessarily would be described as a tourist area. So most of the Jamaicans, would be here. You know what I mean?
Okay. Please hold on for me a little bit, David. We got Professor Simon mentioned in the conversation. Good morning, welcome. How are you today? What do you say caused this earthquake? And you can tell us, and what does a magnitude 7.4 tell us about the geological forces that are at work in that part of Colombia?
Okay, well, yeah, Colombia is a rather complex area. If you go sort of to the west, you end up with the Andes are one of basically a big subduction zone that goes there. So the Pacific is going underneath South America. It's part of the Ring of Fire, as they talk about that. So you've got that complexity, which gives you one set of earthquakes. But then as you go up into northern Colombia, you sort of get a branch off or a fall that heads up towards Venezuela, which is effectively where we had the big Venezuelan earthquake at the tip of that fault. And this one probably is a fault that's parallel to that. So it is really part of the, if you like, the Caribbean plate system. So, it's another earthquake on there. It's not related to the Venezuelan one. That's why a lot of people start thinking, they're all related. They're not. It's too far away. It can't be related. It's a separate stress buildup. But again, it's the length of fault lines is what basically controls the maximum size of basically an earthquake. So when you get very long fault lines, hundreds of kilometers, they can generate very, very big earthquakes. It's 7.4 is a pretty big earthquake. As far as we're talking about in the general Caribbean region, 7.4 is about as big as they don't get that much bigger.
Right. And around it was felt based on reports that we have seen in even neighboring countries like Ecuador, even Venezuela, we understand, might have been impacted by this earthquake that also impacted several cities in Colombia. Do you have any stats in terms of the depth of it or any other statistic that you can share?
Yes, it was actually really quite relatively deep. So I think they said about 60 kilometers depth, something along those lines. So it's actually quite deep. But of course, because it's also very large, it was felt over a big area. So it's really, it's like that. And the type of fault it is, it's the same sort of fault as around the areas of Jamaica, really. I mean, it's a strike slip fault. It's the plates moving side by side, not one underneath the other. This is a type of system it is. Those don't tend to cause tsunamis, and this one was pretty far inland as well. But of course, you can get tsunamis generated by landslides under the sea. And of course, if you get a big earthquake like this, they can generate that sort of thing. So, it was a pretty big one again. We seem to be having a reasonable number of them, unfortunately. They are going to happen. We can't change that they're going to happen. I think the key is that, you learn when they happen. You test your buildings, how your buildings stand up.
In Colombia.
Oh no, we haven't experienced any aftershock so far. Being on the road, from what I've seen, we're just seeing a lot of emergency vehicles still heading towards the area that got affected. Up to this morning, we're still seeing about 10 to 15 ambulances still rushing, trying to get over there. The mood is kind of dull. Persons are not necessarily in a happy mood at the moment. We had to cancel our itinerary for yesterday. Not sure what today will bring, but the vibe and the energy just low at the moment.
Yeah. Have you decided to leave earlier, or are you still going through with your vacation?
We tried, but all the flights were canceled yesterday. They're hoping that they could reopen today and schedule, because I'm scheduled to leave on Thursday. So what I was actually trying to do to see if I can get another Airbnb maybe on the flat, rather than being here on the 12th floor. Yeah, so we're just trying to see how best we can get that started out.
At what point did you realize that this earthquake was bigger than what you personally experienced, and that many lives were lost and so on? What did you start coming to that realization?
It was in the moment when I stood in the living room and I realized I couldn't balance properly. I was like, no, this is actually big. Hearing it and actually looking across over the other buildings, I'm seeing the buildings moving. So I'm like, no, this is really a big one. And then even while running down the street, I'm still feeling the movement and everything. Usually if you're running, you're not necessarily gonna feel it, but I was still feeling it going downstairs. And it was when we actually reached downstairs, probably 10 seconds later, the movement stopped. So it was going on for a good minute.
Professor, how concerned should people over there in Colombia be like us of the aftershock, even at this stage? And can scientists determine whether an even large earthquake could follow?
Well, that's one of the problems. You're going to get aftershocks. You will get aftershocks. Some of them, there will be lots of small ones which people don't necessarily feel. But of course, people get very unsettled when an earthquake happens. So, when you get an aftershock which people feel, it really upsets people again. So that's one of the really big problems. You could get another large earthquake. It's entirely possible, in which case, this will be called a foreshock. We talk about aftershocks, but if you get a bigger one that follows an earthquake, then the ones before are foreshocks. But, probably you're not going to see another large one. You can't rule it out, because, of course, what can happen is that the stress can be transferred somewhere else.
Prairie is the person we're talking with. He actually experienced the earthquake and is still in Colombia. What do you want to say to everyone this morning, Dave?
First and foremost, I just want to give the Almighty thanks and praise, for, allowing me to be alive, also with my fellow Jamaicans that are here. My family got in touch with me, my phone been blowing up from yesterday, so I just want to tell everybody thanks for reaching out, giving me a word of encouragement to my TikTok family, my social media family that reach out to me. I'm here. I'm trying to be as safe as possible until I reach home. I want to keep a big bashment when I reach home. Just give that. But yeah, we here. With Jamaicans, we know how to navigate around certain things. So I'm just here trying to keep safe and try to keep my spirits high.
Yes, thank you. I'm very, very happy that you and all the Jamaicans are safe, at least in that region where you are.
Most definitely.
I wish for you a safe rest of your vacation and also a safe journey back home, Dave. Great having you on with us this morning, and thank you for sharing that first-hand experience of what this like here at heart for the earthquake in Colombia yesterday. We also want to thank Professor Simon Mitchell. Thank you to all this stuff for helping us to understand the science behind what happened. Gentlemen, to both of you, have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you so much. All right, cool. Let me run for my life. You see them time I run for my life. You know how that go. Yeah, so that's my second interview I do one yesterday. You see me? And it just matched up one more a while ago, but never pretty at all. Yesterday them time I place a shake way. Shake. You see me? Yeah, Queen, my there, man. General, them yesterday morning, and they say, boy, them building are fairly new still, so, him have faith in them building here. But me wouldn't know that. So when me feel It's shaking and everything. Me did have to run out of this. Me couldn't stay in this. Me did have to run out of this. I couldn't stay. Me say, Queen, I told me never want to say it on the radio a while ago. You see when me feel the shake and me start to run, me run out and when me reach my door and me realize that me in my white brief, you know. I turn back, you know. While the place are shaking, turn back in my room, go put on my shorts and grab my phone and run out, you know. The 12th floor me depend, so you know me have to go down some flight of stairs. By the time we reach the 10th floor, Queen, me are dead. Short of bread, remember me not slim, me big like a horse. But I had to get out. Yeah, man, I had to get out. Yeah, man, me I got me yard, man. Me I got me yard in a few days. 2 more to the hour. Tuesday, 2 more a day. Because right now, the weight name there, the flight them sticky right now. Because even who's supposed to leave yesterday, them get pushed back today. Them put them up in a hotel or something. And them not sure what time today the airport are going to open up and all them things there. You see me? The airport not really damaged, but you understand? Yeah, man, I'm a good man. Me no feel nothing. I don't know if none come, but me no feel none. Me no feel none. Yeah, me I hope me no feel none neither. The greatest thing, Queen, which part me did no damage, you see me? Me get a little sleep. Me drink some Dan Julio last night to get a little sleep. Yeah, so me have the interview this morning, you see me? So right now sleep are killing me, but see it here, 7:24, at them time yesterday. The place are in a pandemonium. Them time yesterday, bro. Craziness took place. Yeah, I'm good man, Queen man. I have to give thanks, man. I'm good. Which part of me they good, so you don't know. Just need to get some water and see if we can relocate. I still try to look for somewhere where it makes sense. The only video I have are when me go downstairs, Queen. Me not really get no video of the place I move or people I run up and down, but through me end up run go downstairs without my documents and something, me end up make a video just in case me that go lose signal or the building that go mash up. Me end up just make a video and post, but me never really get no video of nothing crazy, because true which part me they not damage. But we feel every part of the earthquake, man. We feel every part of the earthquake, man. I tell you, crazy. No, so what I do now, when I finally come back upstairs, I put the whole of my thing in my bag. Because through them I scatter out in my room. So I put my passport in the bag, my wallet, this, that, all them something in a one bag. Just in case I need to grab the bag and move, you see me? Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm good now, man. I just want some sleep, man. I'm afraid for sleep. Yeah, Lanny, I just want some sleep. Yeah, Lanny, everything good with me, man. Everything good with me. But some other place not so good at all. But everything good with me. No, I'm not there about that.